My boyfriend told me that if I trusted him, I would stop checking his phone. I told him that if he wanted privacy, he needed to stop lying about what was on it. That was the argument that finally ended our engagement plans. I am 29. My boyfriend Caleb is 34. We had been together for 3 years. Caleb is a paramedic. I manage a dental office. When we met, he was exactly what I thought I wanted. Calm, reliable, funny, without needing attention. He talked about marriage early. He wanted children. He said he hated games in relationships. I believed him. The first problem was his friend Tessa. They had known each other since their early 20s. She lived about 40 minutes away and was engaged to someone else. I had met her twice. She was friendly to me. I did not think Caleb was secretly sleeping with her. That is important. My problem was how he behaved whenever her name came up. He would turn his phone away. He would answer messages late at night. If I asked what they were talking about, he would say, "Nothing important." Then one evening, I saw a message from her while his phone was on the kitchen counter. It said, "Your girlfriend would kill you if she knew." I asked Caleb what that meant. He picked up the phone immediately. He said, "It's an inside joke." I asked what the joke was. He said I would not understand. I said, "Then explain it." He refused. That was our first serious fight about trust. 2 days later, he showed me the conversation. The message was about a stupid video Tessa had sent him of a woman flirting with a medic. Caleb had replied that the woman looked like someone who had flirted with him at work. Tessa made the girlfriend comment. It was immature, but it was not cheating. I told Caleb that hiding it had made it look worse. He said, "And interrogating me made me want to hide it." We both thought the other person had proved our point. After that, I started noticing more. Caleb would tell me he was working late, then I would find out he had stopped for drinks with coworkers. He would say he had not heard from Tessa all week. Then, her name would appear near the top of his messages. He once told me he was too exhausted to come to my sister's birthday dinner. That same night, a coworker posted a photo of him at a bar. When I confronted him, he said they had convinced him to stop for one drink after shift. I said, "You were too tired for my family, but not too tired for your friends?" He said, "Your sister's dinner was 3 hours. A drink was 20 minutes. I said, "Then tell me that. Stop giving me the version that makes you look better." He apologized. Again. That became our pattern. Caleb would hide something small because he thought I would react. I would discover it. Then I would react much worse because he had hidden it. He would say my reaction proved why he had not told me. I would say his lie proved why I could not trust him. Neither of us moved. My older sister, Brooke, thought I should leave. She said, "You do realize you are investigating your own boyfriend, right?" I said I hated doing it. She said, "Then stop." I asked how. She said, "Either trust him or admit you don't." Caleb's mother had the opposite opinion. She told me he had always hated confrontation. She said his father was extremely controlling when Caleb was growing up. If Caleb admitted he had made a mistake, his father would lecture him for hours. So Caleb learned to say whatever ended the conversation fastest. She told me, "He isn't trying to deceive you. He panics." I understood that, but I also thought being 34 was old enough to stop making your girlfriend pay for how your father treated you. Then Caleb asked me to move in with him. I said no. He was shocked. We had talked about it for more than a year. I told him I wanted to live with him eventually, but I did not want to combine our lives while I was still wondering whether basic answers were true. He said I was punishing him. I said, "I'm protecting myself." He said, "From what? I have never cheated on you." And that was the problem. He kept arguing against an accusation I was not making. I said, "Trust is not only about whether you slept with somebody." He said, "Then what exactly do you think I'm doing?" I answered, "You keep making me discover the truth instead of telling it to me." He had no answer. For about 2 months, things improved. Caleb told me when he went out after work. He stopped turning his phone away. He even told me when Tessa called him about problems with her fiancé. I did not complain. I wanted him to see that honesty did not automatically create a fight. Then he started talking about proposing. He showed me rings online. He asked what kind I liked. I started believing we had finally fixed the main problem. Then came the turning point. Caleb was supposed to meet me at my parents' house on a Sunday afternoon. We were going to tell them we were seriously discussing marriage. He texted at noon saying his ambulance partner had called because she needed help moving a sofa. He said he would be an hour late. I said, okay. 2 hours passed. Then 3. No Caleb. I called. No answer. Finally, he arrived just before dinner. He apologized and said moving the sofa had turned into helping with several other things. I was annoyed, but I let it go. Until his phone connected to my car the next morning. The screen showed his recent destinations. One of them was a restaurant across town. Sunday, during the exact time he had supposedly been moving furniture. I asked him once, "Were you at that restaurant yesterday?" He said no. I asked again, "Caleb, think before you answer." He said the navigation history must have been from another day. I already knew, so I called his ambulance partner. She had never asked him to move anything. Caleb finally admitted it. He had met Tessa for lunch. Her engagement had ended. She was upset and asked him not to tell anyone yet, including me. Caleb said he knew I would be uncomfortable with him canceling plans with my family to comfort her, so he invented the sofa story. I asked, "Did anything happen between you?" He said no. I believe him, even now. That almost made it worse, because there was no affair to blame. No kiss, no secret hotel room. He had lied directly to my face because telling me the truth was inconvenient. Then he had lied again when I gave him a chance to correct it. He said, she was falling apart. She needed a friend. I said, "Then you should have told me you were helping your friend." He said, "You would have made it a problem." I said, "You canceled meeting my parents to secretly have lunch with another woman. You made it a problem." He said I was proving his point. That sentence ended something in me. I told him, "You don't get to lie to avoid my reaction and then use my reaction to justify the lie." He went quiet. Then he said something I did not expect. He said he was tired too. Tired of feeling watched. Tired of explaining innocent interactions. Tired of wondering whether every female coworker would become an argument. He said, "I know I lie, but I also don't feel safe telling you things." That was hard to hear because there was truth in it. I had checked his phone before. I had asked too many questions. I had treated small inconsistencies like clues. I had become suspicious, but I had not started that way. I said, "Maybe we bring out the worst in each other." He looked at me for a long time. Then he said, "Maybe." I did not break up with him that night. I did something that upset both families more. I ended the marriage conversation. No ring, no moving in, no timeline. I told Caleb that if we stayed together, we were going back to dating. He called that humiliating. His mother said we had already invested 3 years. My mother said if I could not trust him after 3 years, a 4th would not magically fix it. Brooke just said, "Finally." Caleb asked what he was supposed to do to prove himself. I told him I did not want proof. I wanted consistency. I also told him I would stop checking his phone. Completely. Not because he had earned unlimited trust. Because I did not want to become someone who needed surveillance to stay in a relationship. I said, "If I have to search for the truth, I should leave. If you have to hide the truth, you should let me." That was 6 weeks ago. We are still together. Barely, maybe. Caleb has been more honest. Sometimes painfully honest. Last week, he told me Tessa asked him to dinner and he wanted to go. I hated hearing it, but I thanked him for telling me. Then I said I was not comfortable with a private dinner with the woman he had already lied about meeting. He said that felt controlling. I said it was a boundary. We did not agree. He did not go. I am not sure whether that means he respected me or resented me. So that is where we are. He thinks trust means I should believe him unless he gives me proof of cheating. I think trust means I should not have to catch him telling smaller lies first. He says my suspicion makes honesty difficult. I say his dishonesty created the suspicion. Maybe both things are true. But if both people can explain exactly why they stopped trusting each other, does that mean the relationship can still be repaired? Or does it just mean you understand why it failed?